Welcome back to the channel. If you're a repeat viewer, this might look like a slightly different location, and that's because today we are spending just $50 to upgrade this room and make it a part of my smart home. So let's talk about the things that I bought, the way I set it up, and how you can do this too for under $50. Let's get into it. So just in case you haven't seen my last smart home videos, I've got an Apple HomeKit home that's running off of a HomePod that's in my kitchen area. And then in my office, I've got connected to my router, to my modem. I've got an Aqara hub, I think it's the M3, and I've got a Philips Hue hub. So just know that's the basis of what we're building off of, and I'm adding to make this room a little bit smarter than it currently is, which it's not smart at all, so you can only go up from here. So let's talk about the things that I purchased here. So I started with these Lincoln bulbs, and the reason why I got these, even though I have the Philips Hue hub, is it's 4 bulbs for 20 bucks. So it's a great way to test some smart home things, see if I like it or if not, and if I do, then I can replace them for a Philips Hue bulb, just kind of higher quality, better connectivity and things like that. So we're starting with that. Then I've got some NFC tags. We're gonna talk, or NFC chips. We're gonna talk about the ways in which you can use these to automate different things using shortcuts in Apple Home. And then lastly, I've got an Aqara switch, and I can't show you that right now because it's currently mounted to the wall. But those 3 items together total less than $50 to make this room a smart home. So let's talk about how I did it. So the first thing that I did was I replaced both of the bulbs within our nightstands. We've got a nightstand over there. We've got a nightstand over on that side as well. And right now they've just got dumb bulbs in them that turn on and they turn off, and that's fine and that's great. But I wanted to try and do something a little bit more unique. So I replaced them with 2 of the Lincoln bulbs. And then what I've done is I've synced them into Apple HomeKit. And the thing is, that's really easy because of the fact that they've got Matter. All I've got to do is screw them in, turn on the power, and scan the little QR code on the side. When you do that in Apple Home, it just takes maybe 10-15 seconds for it to register, and then it's connected. You can give the device a name, you can change the little icon, move it into the room that you need to, and you are done. It really could not be more simple with these bulbs. In fact, if you are just starting a smart home, this is a fantastic way to start adding some smart bulbs into your setup for an incredibly cheap price that's got a lot of flexibility and options. Then the next thing that I did was I opened up the Aqara switch. Now remember, I've got an Aqara M3 hub back in my office over on the far side of the house. So that is what's able to receive the signal from this Aqara switch, and it's going to be used to trigger these light bulbs in the nightstand. So it took me a little while to remember exactly how to do this because it's been a while since I've made any upgrades to my smart home, but I was able to basically add that device into the Aqara app, and then I was able to go to the Home app and just sync that device in. So now when I look at the master bedroom in Apple Home, I can see those 2 nightstand bulbs, and I can see the Aqara switch. Now what I can do is I can actually use that Aqara switch, and it's got 3 settings. It's got a single click, a double click, and a long press. And I can use those to either trigger different scenes or turn on bulbs on or off. So what I've done is I've set the single click to turn on both lights to full. So it's set to kind of like a standard warm at 100% brightness. You click it a single time, both lights come on. Then what I've got is the double click is a turn off. Now this is the exact same way that I've got my office set up, which you can see in the previous video. So single click, full power on, double click, turns them off. Then the third setting, which is a long press, is actually like a very dim muted setting. So I think I've got the bulb set to 10 or 15% brightness or something like that. So basically in the evening, I can walk in the bedroom, I can press and hold that switch for 2 or 3 seconds. I've got a really nice dim warm setting that's great for reading or just chilling in the bedroom. And then again, the double click will turn it off, or a single click will bring it to full brightness if I need that. So as you can see here on the side of this bedroom, I've got all the standard light switches for the ceiling fan, for the lights, and then I've got another switch that operates one of the outlets in the walls. But now, just by adding this here, I've glued it on using the adhesive strip, I can now easily walk in the bedroom, turn on the overhead lights and the nightstands, and I've got a couple different scenes in there. Now, if you wanted to go a little bit crazier with this, I made it very standard with just turning the lights on, off in a dim setting. You could create scenes, so you could go into Apple Home and maybe turn it so that way the lights are blue and red, or maybe it triggers something unique about music playing on a HomePod or something like that. You can do all of that with the Aqara switch. You don't have to keep it as simple as I have here. Okay, so next let's talk about these NFC tags or chips. Now no, this is not directly applicable to the master bedroom here, but you can use them for a variety of things around the house, in your car, in your office. So today I'm gonna show you 4 ways that I've been using these lately around the house, and it's been really fun to tinker with and mess with. So the first thing is with health app tracking. So if you are deep into the Apple ecosystem, maybe you're using the health app to track your weight, maybe you use it to track your water intake, any kind of measurement that you regularly put in there, you can easily do that with an NFC tag. So if I go here and I show you what I have done, I will just open up the Shortcuts app. And you'll see here that I've got an automation for weight tracking. So let's click into that. Basically what happens is when I scan this NFC tag that I've got set in the bathroom, you can see it opens data and it opens weight. So what that means is literally I just tap my phone on that NFC tag. It opens me up to the weight section of the health app. And then I can just go ahead and add a data point. So every morning it's as simple as stepping on the scale, scan the tab, type it in, and go. Normally you'd have to, open the health app, click through a bunch of things, find the right screen, add it in. It just makes it one tap and a few clicks. The second automation that I've created is for in the kitchen when I'm making coffee. Now this one is incredibly simple. It is called Coffee Timer, and all it is that when it detects the NFC tag that I have in the kitchen over on my refrigerator, I tap it and it starts a 3-minute timer. That's for when I'm making coffee. Usually I'll turn the stove on and I'll heat up the water. I'll go ahead and tap it, sets a 3-minute timer. I can go somewhere else in the house, come back and my water is boiling. Or maybe I'm steeping tea. If I have a tea bag in there, I just tap it, I wait 3 minutes, and then I know that my tea is steeped and ready to go. So the next 2 automations that I'm gonna show you using these NFC tags are a little bit more complicated, and they actually follow some of what I've done in some previous videos. So I'll go ahead and link those down below. So the first one is a Pomodoro timer. If you're not familiar with it, it's the idea that you set a timer for 20 minutes, you remain completely focused for that 20-25 minute time period, and then you take a break, you can look at your phone, you can check things or whatever you do. It just helps you stay a little bit more focused. So if you look right here, when I click into this, when it scans that NFC tag, I usually keep it in my office, it's going to start my shortcut for focus timer. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. If I open up here, you can see focus timer. It's gonna ask me how many minutes do I wanna do it for. It's gonna round that number up to minutes. It's gonna open clock, and then it's gonna turn on do not disturb. This is really complicated looking, so I'll keep it here on screen so you can see it just for a second. But essentially what it does, you tap that NFC tag, it's going to then send you a notification and ask how many minutes do you wanna stay focused for? I'll type 20 minutes. Then what it does, it creates a 20-minute timer on your phone, and it sets your focus mode to do not disturb for the next 20 minutes. So now you walk into your office, you tap it, you stay focused for the amount of time you need, and then when you're done, your phone is removed from do not disturb and you can continue on with your day, or tap again when you're ready to go deep into your focus mode. The final NFC tag that I'm gonna show you is one that's actually set up in my car. Now what happens is when I tap my phone to it, it sets my phone to do not disturb. It resumes my latest podcast in the Pocket Cast app, and then it runs a shortcut that does map to next event. Again, that's in the video that I've done previously. What that's gonna do is search through my calendar, see if there's any events on there that have a location added in, and if so, it will allow me to map to that location right away. So it's as simple as tap, do not disturb, podcast playing, map to next location. Pretty cool. So that's how I spent just $50 to upgrade my smart home setup. We got the smart bulbs, the Aqara switch, we got those NFC tags to automate things around the house. It's a relatively simple setup, but a great upgrade for this room and around the house. So I hope you learned something new, and if you did, throw it down in the comments below. I'd love to chat with you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.